Okay, hello, welcome, everybody. We are here supposedly for another live optimization segment, where we were had been for approximately 6-7 weeks now, going over live client accounts, businesses, advising them on how to advance their business, using their ads, using landing pages, and so forth. And then with the help of my 20 years of experience doing this and running a decent sized PPC firm and using my experience to do so. So far this week, so last week we had technical challenges trying to switch over to a new streaming system, going to actually it was OBS, open source versus StreamYard, to have higher resolution screen sharing for higher detail on the via the optimizations that we were providing. That said, still working out the details on that. I'm still plan on implementing this. We had tested it, and then I was not up on the process. So what I'm going to end up doing is get a technical advisor to be on those lives so that everybody involved will absolutely have all the things that they need, both myself and then the other participants, which we had some audio problems. This week, however, we've got other issues going on. The volunteers have not shown up this week for their optimization. None of them. So what I'm hoping to do here is have some individuals that will arrive and we can talk about their businesses. Maybe not optimize their accounts live, but have some information for them. We'll talk about their business on an overall basis, what I would do, what I would not do. The unique perspective that I have is, and I'm not trying to sound like too pompous here, but I started out doing pay-per-click advertising in 2005 on Google initially for auto parts business. And so I've got over 20 years of experience technically doing this. I also worked at an agency for about 3 years. Then I ran a guarantee PPC agency for approximately 12 years. So I've worked with or seen or talked to over 1,000 business owners. And not all of them have we optimized to the end, of course, on that 1,000 plus, but a good hundreds we have. And with that, I've got a very wide perspective on the types of things that generally work, that generally don't work. And for all business types, I don't just do e-commerce businesses. I don't just do lead generation businesses. I don't do local only. I don't do national only. I do a mix. And the reason for that is I honestly, there's two reasons for that. One of which, for us, it's been hard to find just one industry to focus on because we can't get everybody in that whole industry to work with us. I haven't cracked a way to easily do it. I know there are ways. Also, it's frankly just boring to work in one industry over and over again. Once you find the formula that works in, let's say, plumbing, it's really going to be copy and paste pretty much after you've done 5 or so campaigns in that space already. You're just going to copy paste the strategy over and over again. I don't care if you're working with 5 or 500 plumbers, it's going to be the same crap every single time. And for that matter, it wouldn't be reckless to do that. It would be, smart and advantageous to do that because really when it comes to running ads, you're not trying to get fancy when you don't need to. Of course, you got to get fancy to get results, got to think outside the box. But when you're in position not to get fancy and overcomplicate things, you got to know when to be humble and just realize that if you start meddling in stuff too much, you're going to go the other way. It's almost like becoming a good manager in your business, right? There's one level where you don't give a fuck about what you're doing, and then the business suffers. Then there's a point in which you get to the point where you're over managing, you're micromanaging, and then you're also going to screw everything up. You're going to piss off good people that know what they're doing, and you're not going to make up for crappy people who don't know what they're doing. So therefore, it's not going to be helpful. So, anyway, that all said, for that matter, what I've done, I understood, hey, V4X, I've understood how to, quickly digest all of the information about a niche business that it could be a product I've never heard of before, never seen before, never heard anybody talk about before. And I can quickly assess what it is, who buys it, who doesn't buy it, what would be of the 100 different methods that we have that I know of to run an ad for a business, which of the 100 are going to be the most profitable for that product, set up a campaign, quickly test it, iterate, and then find a working model for that particular campaign and business. And then, we get the results. The one thing that makes and the reason why I kind of mentioned that is the reason that I've seen a lot of PPC managers not getting results for their clients. And I hear this from our clients coming in all the time is they think, they realize they know more than the person doing the PPC, because in order to do PPC right, running ads for a business right, you got to understand the product as much as you understand the PPC. And most PPC managers, they know how to run ads, but they have no idea how to quickly absorb how a business works, who buys, who doesn't buy, and then therefore they're not effective. I can do both. I could and do it really quickly. You could, call that high IQ, having high IQ to be able to do that. I mean, it is what it is. That's what you got to be able to do. So for that matter, I've understood that people wanted live, real examples of optimizing ads on this channel, because I talk about how to do it, or the theory, all the time. And I want to prove that these methods work, so people can't be like, well, he hasn't shown it. I have been showing it on this live, and I've actually put a link in the description of every one of my videos saying I offer a free audit, totally for free. The catch being, though, that you got to want to let us talk about what you're doing on our live stream here. Otherwise, of course you should pay, because our organization should benefit something if you're going to get something for free itself. And so if you want it hidden or private, then you just pay for it. And it's really, your choice. But we are looking for more types of businesses to consider to review. Even I've got people, just to make it clear, I've got people who are reaching out for an audit, and we've got people we're talking to. Nobody just happened to show up like they were, and like they said they were. I mean, shit happens. I get it. So, but I would like more businesses to consider, because ultimately on these live streams, I don't want to just review any business. I want to review interesting ones. Not all. I want some boring, some interesting, but also a mix, most importantly. And people who watch this live stream have pointed this out, where you don't want to just see e-commerce businesses, because a lot of you guys don't have one, or just lead generation businesses. You want sometimes local, sometimes national. We want a mix here. And so if I don't get enough requests for an audit here, then we're not going to have a good mix of examples. I want the most obscure products also to review, obscure services where we're literally starting from scratch, something that nobody's seen or heard of. How do you build that process out from scratch? That'll be also really good, interesting content, not just the usual, oh, okay, here's what to do for a roofer. Well, there's other content kind of out there that talks about how to market a roofing company. So it's not as useful as, here's this ultrasonic hair remover. How would you market this product, Corey? And we talk about that start to finish. So, and that said, hi V4X again. I know you hopped on here. You had a question. I don't know, by the way, if you're interested in coming on and doing, being on the stream here today. I had mentioned that the individuals that were supposed to be, that have committed through email that they were going to be here for the live optimization today. They haven't showed up. If you'd like to come on, if you would like to come on, that'd be fantastic. If not, I'll answer your question here. So you had a question about broad match with 30 excluded words with new campaigns for electrical. What do you think? So the one problem with using less keywords on broad match and then heavy, just use, broad match keywords and then trying to use negative keywords to optimize the campaign. The problem with that is that you usually have to add quite a few. It's easier, certainly, to use broad match and add negative keywords to get something launched quickly. You can get it launched in, an afternoon or, less than an hour. Problem is the amount of money you're going to waste to get it dialed in is pretty big. So yes, you could save time, but it's going to cost you money to be able to do that. Eventually with broad match, if you add enough negative keywords, it'll run profitably. The question is, do you want to waste all that money in the meantime being able to do that? For me, I don't. And, I know where you're at in Europe. It might be a different story. Cost per click is a little less. You can get by with a little bit less targeting. What we're mostly working on in the US with it being competitive and whatnot, exact match keywords are necessary for a market like any home service market, electrical services being included in that, because if you don't, then not only going to not show up for people looking for services, they're looking for information only, but Google's gotten a habit now that if you use broad match, you're going to show up for competitors, and then which there may not be that many in your area, so it doesn't matter. What happens is you show up for the competitor's name. The consumer searching for that competitor doesn't read anything when they go to Google. They just see the ad there, so they assume it's you because they're lazy. They'll click through, call. You'll end up wasting your money and wasting your time talking to this person who thought you were the competitor. Second of all, most importantly, you're going to show up outside the area. Now, you may say, like, what the hell does keywords have to do with location targeting? They do have something to do with one another because Google's obviously programmed it this way. And, this is like one of those things where Google's done, crossed the line in terms of user trust, and what they say they're going to do, they're not actually going to do. But you will find with home services, when you target in phrase match or broad match now, and you go and you dig into the location targeting, it will have shown up your ad had been hosted to people outside your targeted market that's in your location targeting, wasting even more money. So therefore, we're forced to not do it. So, that's the main reasons why I wouldn't do broad match, even though, and for that matter, V4X, since you're such a loyal viewer of the channel, if you reach out to me, I'll send you the list of the keywords for the electrical services space that I found works. And you can just target them in exact match by itself. That way you don't have to go through that whole rigmarole that I just described. There's about 500 different variants of different terms for the electrical services space that work, that have buyer intent. And I recommend just running those by itself. But if you want to have your stuff reviewed, V4X, I will send you a link here and we'll have you get on. Give me a second here and I'll just drop the link in here. If you are brave enough and want me to review this. I mean, granted, if you reach out to my firm, we can talk. But if you want me to do it right here and now, you could just click on that link there. You should be able to hop into the live stream and we'll start talking. You can ask me whatever questions you want about it. Hey, more jazz, more ass. Can you make a video with the, see here. Can you make a video with examples showing a good website versus a decent website versus an amazing website and talk more about the effects of landing pages? Yeah. So one of the, by the way, live stream. So I wanted to have a different themed live stream for every day of the week because different people are kind of interested in different things. One of which was going to be how to make landing pages and ads, just like how to architect them. And then show examples from previous clients where we made good landing pages. I could also show you where they had really good websites where it converted well, that kind of thing. Haven't started it yet. But I'm also, you're right. I should make a dedicated video about this. And it's the only problem with my typical whiteboard style, you can't really show. That type of thing needs to be done on screen sharing. So what I need to do is do a screen sharing type video, long video, of which I'm going to put directly on my list of different videos to do. I always looking for different videos to make. And then when throughout the week, I get an idea, you guys give me an idea or just think of one during my daily work. I put it on the list and then try to knock it out. So there we go. Got it. Thank you for the suggestion. I got it on my list. What I was mentioning too, by the way, more jazz. I had several commitments for live optimization. We were going to go through clients' businesses, new ones actually, and they did not show up. So if you also would like a live, if you want to ask questions about your business, it doesn't have to be an actual optimization of your account, but it could be. You could just use the StreamYard link that I posted in the chat, and we'll get you on as well after we get Watley on here from Watley anyway. It's not his name. All right. We are live.
Hey, just give me a sec. I'm gonna upload everything in the studio. Links.
Okay, sure.
So this is the first concept that they made. I'm building a whole new website. It's the electrical stuff still. I'm still in electrical business, B2B, but I'm more niched in now. I'm gonna go straight to clients that are having problems with their electricity and providing them a solution. So they have a direct problem, they find me, and then I bring, they can choose the basic option till the premium package. In the premium package, it's solved all in one for 25 years. Then everything in between. It has a different price. The basic option is cheaper than the all-in option. And so the people that are calling me can choose what they want, depending on the price.
If I got this right, so you say this is a B2B offer, and so
B2C is B2C. Sorry, it's B2C.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah, it's just for the home people that are living in a home.
So for the B2C,
copy everything.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of, if you could drop a link to the actual landing page that you are proposing, I'll show it on screen here and I'll look at it.
I'm gonna show you everything. They are building it right now. It's still in Figma. It's like a design studio before they make it. So
Yeah.
it's in Dutch, but I think you can still translate it if you push on the translator on the web browser.
Well,
So
I've never tried that on Figma before, but we'll see if it works.
I'm gonna translate for you, Corey. No problem. I'm gonna use my best English. So that's all the stuff I have, and then I have that's the website, and then I have the campaign. So just a second, I'm gonna.
While you're doing that, by the way, more jazz. If you wanted to do some questions, by the way, you can always ask in the comment section, or if you didn't want to get on cam, you could just get into the stream after we're done here, and just don't have a cam. It could just be voice too, and screen sharing only. I'm not going to require everybody to do that. Anyway, go ahead, and I'll just be patient here, waiting for you to have what you want to share. There's screen sharing. There's also, you can drop a link, and I can pull stuff up on my end too.
Yeah, that's all I have for the website, and then I have the keywords, but I need to screen share. I cannot, like, it's still in it's not in Word, but like Excel. So I need to show you, I cannot put the Excel sheets right onto the chats. I'm trying to like push it in, but it doesn't let me put it in.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through this. I'm going to have you help me describe it while I look at it. Or let me try to look at it first, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we got here on screen is the service in question. We're going to try to use Google Chrome to translate the page. I forgot exactly how to do this.
Right mouse click, I think, if you can. Can you put right mouse click on?
It's not going to let me right click.
Or maybe put an add-on on it, and in the add-ons of the browser you can use the Google Translator.
But yeah, let me try this real quick. So looks like actually that's not what I want. Yeah, I don't think in Figma we're going to be able to translate, unfortunately.
So I can just translate it for you then? Do I need to share my screen to start translating it?
Yeah, maybe that'll be better. Sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna check. Is it on like the screen with the plus on it to share? I'm not sure. Share screen. Yeah, I found it. Share screen. Full screen. Yeah, just a second. So I'm gonna open this. Can you see the screen?
Yep, I just put it up here. So it's so
Okay.
your screen is now
So this is, let me check. This is the main page where you come just to check it out, the website. So this is safe installations, electrical installations by Watley. Then this is the conformity that you need in Belgium. Fast diagnosis, specialist in renovations, and no surprises afterwards. Then this is the you should contact now button. This is the ask for a checkup button. We make sure your home is safe and good for the future without surprises.
okay.
This is the phone number. This is me on the car with the nice house on it. This is a bit more trust. There's another site where I rank pretty good, except Google. So I use that to rank the whole site up a bit for the trust. How can we help you? Do you recognize yourself in one of this problems? We help you with safe and fast installation of your electricity. So is it safe? Is the electricity safe in your home? This is the first caption with all the things that happen if all the problems that they face. So the person comes in here, he scrolls down and he thinks, what is my problem? And this is the question that the client is thinking about. And this is all the things that they see that they have right now and what we do to prevent them. So I had also like a sales guy look at it just to make sure the conversion is pretty good from the start. So this is run 2 that we are doing before we make the whole site. Next up is then did you just purchase a house and is everything in order? Because in Belgium you can buy a house even if it's electrical not that good. You can just buy it. The buyer needs to have a permit that it's checked, but it's not conform, so it's not good, the electricity. And that's what we do too. So it's all in the same thing. The first is if it's still safe. Second is if it's safe if they buy a house. Then if they have like an issue, like fuse that trips or something like that. This is all this stuff. Then if they have the paper and it's not conform, this is the stuff. Like every 25 years, they need to redo the checkup from a third party. And there's a lot of work just in this. Like I think 70% of all the houses in Belgium, there was like a study, is sold without bringing it in order first. And I use that to sell to the. So if a guy wants to sell a house, I come in first to make everything in order before he sells it, because afterwards there's no discussion of the price, because the buyer, he's not sure if it's gonna be 10 grand, 20 grand or whatever, and then they ask me to do it first, so it's all good. So it sells faster, and the middleman also gets it done. It's gonna be faster to sell also, so it's a win-win for both sides.
Okay.
En then wees hier dan alles correct. This is like like a subscription. It's like a subscription on us. So you pay us one time and you have 3 things. The first one is we come for free to check out what the problem is, but we make an offer on that. So to drive, it's free for a year. and it's only, I think it's 400 euro for a year. So that we do for free. The second thing is after hours, we are 4 hours more open with the business. If the client has a problem, we go directly in the 4 hours. And the third is if we have other clients, they have the front of the line pass. That's also included in the whole package for 1 year, and it's only 400 and something euro. So this is all the installations we did, but this should be like a 6 because the round numbers are bullshit. The 14 years is correct. It's how long we do it already. If they need it fast, it's in 4 hours we come to the house. And this is the rating from Google and Trust Local. This is like an electrical board, like on the wall with all the fuses in it, because that's a high ticket item. This is the whole renovation. It's also a high ticket item. And this is all the checkups that need to happen to make it safe. Every year, it's harder and harder to make it safe because the rules are always a bit more strict. And that's why there's a whole market here in Belgium. Almost nobody does it. So that's why we go to there. So if they have they have a defect and they want it fast, they can ask it here as a CTA also. This is why they should choose for us. The price is transparent without afterwards increasing the price. So the offer is the invoice for us. Then it's 100% conform, so it's 100% safe to go. Also, if the issues arise, we pay for it ourselves. So we make one offer or two offers, and after the offers are finished, so one for the schematics and the second one is to fix all the issues we find when we do the schematics. And after that, we just go to the third party to check it, to let it check up, and then it's finished. Guarantee. This is a guarantee we give. All the materials are pretty high. It's the best of the best we use. We don't use the shitty materials because they just call us back, and I don't want that bullshit. There's the service. This is the service contract. Is like something you pay per month to get all the other stuff, like we go free to them, and to make offers, and after they got the first line, the front line pass. It's till 25 years. If they do the checkup, it's for 25 years. They are good to go. So that's also why we put in the passes, because if it's for 25 years, okay, the guy after me will do the work, not me. Yeah, that's a bit it. Then we had a video that needs to be put in. No half work, just a safe installation. And this is how we work. So the first step is that they call to make an appointment. This is what we do. We listen to the situation they have, and this is what they get. Then the second one is the safety diagnosis, and we go on site within 48 hours. Then we check everything up, and we make an offer for the schematics and maybe some more. And then there's the price we give is one price for the schematics. It depends if it's like just to. If it depends if there's another guy that was working there, or if they did something themselves, we work in 2 steps, because the cables in the walls maybe it's not correct. But if it's just to recheck after 25 years, it's one price in total. So that's step 3. 4 is the works. We work we do all the work we need to do, we do. Then the third party comes to check everything, and that's it. This one is just a CTA bit. And this are for few reviews we have. At the moment, we have 42. It's not that much, but in Belgium, 42 is pretty good. Like I think it's around 12. Between 12 and 20 is like the baseline. Oh, yeah, around that is the baseline. Like at 30 reviews, you're pretty good in Belgium. We don't do much reviews. So this is what I have. Then let me open this one. So this is the landing page. Yeah, this is the landing page. I'm just gonna go over it a bit quick. So here are the same batches with no surprises afterwards and all that. This is a review from a client that was very happy. This is how can we help you? And then electricity just cuts off. No electrical, no electricity in a part of your home, and there's all questions that people can have, and then they can click on here, and from there they go to I think it's a little bit more text, but then it's just then they can call, and also then they can the person that calls can call them back, and they need to just leave their information afterwards. This is all the trouble they can have. And this is the CTA again. And this is all the things that can happen when the electricity is not good. So like you can get a fire hazards, electrocution. So also with the law you can have problems because it's not conform, and if the fire reaches another house, you need to pay for it, all that stuff. That's what I have. It's pretty basic, but I checked with a sales guy, and I use them a lot also. It's a year or two I'm using the same guy. He's also expensive, but it's worth it, so I stay with him. Then we have like the keywords, and here is the fucked up part. Like I think the guy, he doesn't know shit, you know. I'm just gonna open it.
At least you can admit it. Most people would be like,
crazy.
"Oh wow," they have a gut feeling, and then they just wouldn't admit it.
I'm just gonna say you like this, Corey. Like I was talking to him, and I already had like a little bit of a feeling, but you know, I gave everyone a chance, and he was on the first meeting. He was trying to push. So it's all electrical what I do, and just in homes I wanna advertise. Also, yeah, I'm not sure if you can see this. This is like
I can see it.
Yeah, it's like Belgium. This is West Flanders. It's from I live here on the 4, and to go to the 3 here, it's like a 1-hour drive maximum. So it's all reachable. The good clients, the rich clients live here. Here, all that stuff here. So the guy was like using. He wants to start up with my old sites without headers, without SEO, without anything. And he would like start with an PMAX campaign on day 1. And also he would 50% of the budget would go to there. He would advertise like plugs for it to put in the wall, you know, like the receptacles that are like, it's like a €10 for one. So good luck selling that. And he put it 50% on that campaign and 50% on search. On the search campaign, it was like one. He just wants to pile up everything in one campaign. So it was receptacles, charging poles for a car that I don't even do. The margin is too low there, and yeah, maybe some solar and other stuff, but all in one. He wants to put it all in one campaign, and also no tracking to check if the lead is good or not. He just wanna shoot, and he's gonna see whatever comes back. So I don't need that, you know. There's all the places where he wants. The places are not it's a big place, but it's very niche. So that's why I put it very big. Also, I want the better paying clients and not the lesser paying clients. And on the phone, if somebody picks up, I also have like 10 questions to see if they are a good fit or not. And it's like on 120 points. And if it's below 50, I'm not gonna do it, or I'm gonna charge 250 just to come. So then it's good for me. And from 50 to like 70 is gonna be in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm just gonna see a bit. And if it's like 70 or 80 plus, then they can book like right now if they want. It's with the agenda, it's going to be open, and they just can plan it in, and just going to go, and I'm going to fix the stuff they need. And this is the keywords. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm not sure if I can translate it in here. Okay. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Maybe if I can. I'm not
It
sure.
will only let you do so many characters. You might only have to do like 10 or something.
Let me just. Yeah. Here it is.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? No, I mean, do you have anything else to share? I got a pretty good feeling of what you're trying to do there in terms of keywords.
Yeah.
It's
so this is all the excluded. This is jobs, work, vacation. Like if a job is open. This is like if you go. Just let me just do it like this. It's gonna be easier. See, there's only 35, and it's all. I'm not joking. Eh?
These are negative keywords, guys. What we saw before is positive keywords. These are negative.
Yeah, it's all on Face Match also. All this stuff, and all this negative. Like it's only 35, and this is gonna be the odds. Like I'm gonna put it in so you can see it. Yeah, this is the negative keywords lists. I'm just gonna go slowly down.
Okay.
That's it. So I think they need to start at least with exact match, but with exact match, it's not that hard to. I think it's hard to find because it's like a bit of a niche, and also you have the third party checkup businesses. So after me, there comes a checkup business to check everything out, and I'm just want to stay a bit away from them because we're two different kind of people. You know, if they ask me for a checkup, I cannot do it myself. There's a special company needed for that. But I'm in that niche, so that's a little bit of the problem to make the right keywords. Yeah.
Wait a second. So
okay.
You want regular electrical service customers and you want people wanting these checkups, but the checkups.
No, I just want the safety stuff. The safety stuff pays a lot more. They're gonna use the regular stuff with the SEO to rank higher, just for my name. But the electrical, like the thing where you put in the fuses, the boards, that is good to advertise, because if everything the client sees, they want to pay for. If they see I change that, they think, it's going to be safer. Okay, it's going to be safer, but if there's a cable in the wall that is burnt to a crisp, they don't see that. And if I need to check that, and I'm asking like 4,000 euro just to check everything up, it's too expensive because they don't see the value. I can say like, yeah, it's going to be safer. I'm going to check it up, and you get like 25 years. It's going to be safe. It's only good when they had a fire. If they didn't have a fire or there's no fuses that are popping off and all that stuff, they don't want to do it. So that's why I use the normal electrical just for the SEO and the name. But I'm gonna go more niche because the money is more in that kind of thing also, and the checkups and the schematics. And if I do that, then they ask while I'm there, can you change this and this and this also? And then I have more work without spending more on SAR and PPC and all that stuff.
So the most important though to you is to get the safety checkup customers.
Yeah, the people that are, yeah, indeed.
Okay. So I was taking notes while you went through that whole thing. First of all,
I'm gonna stop the screen now. Just a second. It's gonna be like, I think it's on this. Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
Let's see. Make sure. Okay. Yeah. So for the most part, I would just personally focus the whole website talk about these safety checkups by itself. And I wouldn't talk about anything else other than the fact that you might have a side page that talks about, okay, we can replace the boards and this and this and this, so people know that you can do the installation too. Mm-hmm. But because if you try to market to everybody, it's not going to look like you're a specialist anymore, and then they're going to get confused.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
I also think, Corey, like if I showed you like the main page, landing page, so most stuff I talked about is about the safety aspects and doing it good the first time. So, and also the quality and the speed, because they only have so much time to do it. And it's for 25 years also. So that's what I want to do to bring the whole business up.
As far as you said, 5 years and then 25 years. So what's the 5 years? They need to get a safety checkup every 5 years is what I thought.
Yeah, it depends. Like it's 5 years if you rent it out for other people, or if it's a public place, it's 5 years for whole Belgium. But it's 25 if it's a normal home or anything like that. Also in a factory depends how much people they're working there. If it's more than a certain amount, I think 25 or 50, I should check it up. It's 5 years.
What percentage of the total customer base in this electrical services space do you think is centered around these safety checks?
There's if I go to every other website, I know other electricians, it's all way too broad. And also, if they have a website, it's cheaply made. There's no good PPC. They don't even know what that is. They have no reviews. They have shitty photos, and they don't have the drive that I have to just push it forward, and just keep going, even if you have shit. So yeah, it's almost nothing. I swear, I can show you it all day. It's really crazy. There's a lot of inspectors. Like I think there's 5 a lot. There's 5 big companies that do the inspection. So the third party from the electrician. So that's good, but except that, nobody does it. Everybody's focused on big projects. Everybody's focused on this and that. Like there's 2 things that you can do here in Belgium. The first one is making it secure, like I do with the third party. And the second thing is like if they have like a fuse that breaks, then you go in, you fast and you fix it, and then you upsell. And that 2 things, like the service and that, it's a gold mine. And I use them both. So I know 70% is not conform. Then I come in if they call me, and the first thing I ask is this still okay with the permit? And then I say I'm not sure, and I check the cabinet and I see directly when there should be a sticker on it. And then I start to check, and I know it's 10 years they didn't do it. And if they don't do that, if there is a fire, they lose their house, and nobody pays a dime. It's all on
The
to
insurance
them.
company won't pay. And I would
No,
presume
nothing.
if you try to sell, you can't sell until it's done as well.
You can sell it if it's not done, but the buyer is gonna subtract the amount that is needed from the sell.
Yeah.
From the So the people don't need to wait. Like if you know you're gonna sell it in like 5 years, why shouldn't you do it right now? So you live 5 years knowing that nothing can happen, and afterwards you can sell it and say, hey, it's 20 more years, you have everything you want, and you get the full price.
Sure. Okay. Got it. Well, so it's clear to me that, yeah, I mean, I know your whole website basically is focused around that safety thing. I would personally, so you guys, here's just a quick lesson about things. When you guys a lot of times are trying to decide what business to get into or this or that, I mean, for the most part, scalability in business is huge. I mean, it's really always tempting to get into business and say you can do all these different things. Your problem you're going to run into, though, doing that as a business owner involved in the business at the beginning, is it's doable short term. But when you try to grow the business, it's damn hard. And it's because you cannot systematize what you're doing very well. And you may say, well, I can just get somebody that does all this. Well, yeah, you may be able to do that, but managing the quality of what you're doing when you're doing too many things, it's very, very hard. For something like this, if he could get the marketing right for the safety checks and do it and get enough of them, he could basically train somebody how to do a safety check with a check box list.
I have already 2 guys, and I have the checklist already on my computer.
So, I mean, if you guys were to sit on a beach somewhere eventually instead of working for money, that's how you do it. You find one thing and just do that one thing and only that thing. Yeah. And that's a much better way to go in business. You know, in our business, I've taken the hard path. Nobody can do what I'm doing where we manage ads in a billion different markets. And that's my fault. But if I were to do it again, I would find something where it's more clear cut. And you could read that book, Built to Sell, and they talk about this concept as well. But so anyway, long story short here, I think you got a great idea. And clearly, if you're the only one looking like they specialize in it, then you should be able to get exactly what you want. Now, the question is getting from here to there. Now, my question is there a way for you to get some sort of internal, like if you have to get these checks every year, is this registered with the government at all?
It's like, the government is like, you have me that checks everything up. Then you have the third party that, so I make the schematics, I do the check first, and they verify it, they sign it, and the government is their partner on it also.
Okay.
So if something happens, they need to tell it to the governments, and that's how the whole thing works. Yeah.
Okay, so my obvious thing is, instead of, the web marketing is great, but I would be taking the guy who has access to the records of who's got the checks and who's not to dinner, wining and dining them, so I can get access to that list somehow. Because if you had access to that list, that's pure fucking gold, because you can now send letters out in the mail when some people are expired saying you're expired. And if you don't, your house is not going to fucking be insured if you get it burned down. And in fact, it's not insured until you fix this. And I'm the number one guy in the country doing this. I've got the endorsement from the government, saying that I'm doing this correctly. And then it's like game over. If you just did that one thing, it would be game over. And you may say, well, it's expensive to send a letter, but you just need the letter to be effective.
No, it's not that. The only problem is in Europe, you have like the GDPR rules. And,
yeah.
So if I just want, like, if I'm an electrician, if I go to another house with a schematic that another guy made, and I call the inspection, so the third party from me, to get the schematics, I need to send the guy first a mail, and I need his authorization before I can do my work. So then I need to charge another 4,000 just to make another schematic that's exactly the same.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's bullshit.
anyway, we had to explore that. So thank you for explaining that. So the other things I wanted to talk about on my list here was, so you offer, again, just to clarify, a free checkup, and then the money, you have some sort of subscription. So to be clear here, if they need a safety inspection, is that free or is that not free? And then how does the subscription work in?
It's so no, the subscription is so we tell them on the phone, but also if we go to the clients, we tell them again. So the subscription, I'm losing money on the subscription. I'm gonna be fair. It's a loss leader. I'm just using it to go to there, make more options and sell them, and check out what the problem is. If there's no problem, I'm just gonna find some problems. I'm just gonna sell that. So that's the whole thing with the subscription, is to upsell or cross-sell different things. The checkup himself is no, it's paid now. It's 250 to go there, because we have a lot of client at the moment. It can change. I can do it free too, but at the moment we have a lot of people that are just calling just because they need it, but they see the website and they think I'm cheap. I don't know why, but and then I go to there and it's like, oh, that's too much. So that's why I'm at the moment I'm asking 250 just to go. But if I can do the whole thing, I subtract the 250 from the whole invoice. So it's basically free, yes, if they want to continue with me. If they just there for the information and go to another electrician that does it cheaper, then they just pay me 250 euro. I don't care, and I know where I'm going.
Okay, so it's okay, got it. So I would just mathematically figure, and you're not going to maybe know right now, but your number one goal should be to figure out at what rate, when you do the safety inspection, they need more work and what the average amount of work is, and then use that information to identify how much the initial safety inspection is. You know, in the auto repair world, what they've done there is they'll say, oh, it's a $75 for a diagnostic, but we will refund that if you need work done. So it's,
yeah, it's the same. It's the same for me. I do it the same way. I just go to the clients. I'm checking if the schematics are there. I'm checking all the faults on the schematics. If there is no schematics, I make an offer for the schematics. And then from there, or I have the schematics, or the paper is there with it's not conform, this and this and this and this is not good. And then I'm gonna check that out, make an offer for that, and make an offer to do it all compliance. That's also the cheapest option. Just look at the paper and just make a price on that as the cheapest option, because the people that are checking only have 30 minutes and they don't open anything up. So the wires they don't check, in the fuse box they do it open, but all the rest they don't touch. So that's why on the premium option we open everything up, we check everything out, and if it's not good, we measure it. If it's not good for 25 years, we pull out the wires and redo the whole thing.
Okay, so bottom line here is that the closer to the fee is to zero, the higher their closing rate on the leads you do get are going to be. And if you can get it to be zero and you put free safety inspection, you're going to get more calls. So I know the whole, for me, it's short-sighted to say that I'm going to offer this for free if you don't need any work. I would just figure out at what rate they need work. And if like 80% of the time they need work and I can upsell them, I'm just going to then offer it for free anyway. And, with that, if you will, then make it up on the back end. Some people, it's not going to work out, but that should be your goal. But as you get into it, you'll figure out if you can do that or not.
So Corey, I'm gonna ask like a very stupid question. Like, if I want a premium brand and I just gonna charge like 300 to go, and the price is fixed, then I gonna have better conversion on our clients. So you need to think about like I need to drive an hour, do an hour of work, and drive an hour back. So it's 3 hours for one client. So they need to be pretty good, or I'm just wasting my time. Also, if I let my guys do it, they also are very costly, just like me. So also with the tools and the van, I think it's 100K. I'm just thinking like if I just raise the price to set a standard and then use like the videos, testimonials on the sites to show it's really, really good. It's the best you can have, no bullshit. It should work. And then I can just put more in the advertising also because I earn more.
True that. So basically, bottom line, I agree with what you're saying. It could go either way. When you get into it, what I'm saying is you should test it both ways to see what the closing rate is with and without it, and just look at your numbers. Because I agree, yeah. Obviously you want to pay up front because that's going to make scaling the ad campaign at the beginning quicker and easier. So if they'll just pay it because you're the best guy and there ain't really too many other people doing it, then just charge. Yeah. But if it starts to become an issue where, like, let's say only 1 out of 4 people actually do it that call, then you may want to consider doing the other way. So
yeah, I saw your video also with if you should do the payments before you go or not. So you made a whole video about that. I saw it. It's pretty good. The conversion is way better.
Yeah. So and then okay, and then as far as the you had the getting into the how you plan on setting up your PPC.
Yeah.
So the keywords are pretty generic there. The problem with what you're doing is that this is there's not a lot of people searching for a safety inspection. I mean, you could go super surgical with this, and if they don't type in electrical safety inspection, whatever, you could get it to be like very profitable very quickly. But the problem is there's probably not that many people searching for this. Agreed?
Yeah, maybe. I can check. I can try. We can run it 2 weeks, a month, and see a different campaign.
So that's the obvious thing to start with: safety inspection service, or like electric. But it's such a small country. I don't know how many people are searching. And then once you've done that, then you're going to have to get into doing other advertising to get in front of people that it sounds like to me, maybe even potentially 10 or 20% of people, they don't even have their safety inspection done. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. At least it's crazy. It's a lot. But what if I should advertise on if a guy buys a house and then I come on, like 70% is not correct when they buy it, and the seller he just want to minimize paying money to do it good, but the buyer, he wants to live there for a long time. So if I have the luck that they have a little bit of budget to do it and they buy a house and then I come up and then I'm checking it out because it's still not correct, then maybe I have a more of a chance, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay. So with that said, not to say going back to slightly what we were talking about as far as the keywords go. If this is going to work with the broad keywords, I agree. PMAX would be okay for this. Yeah. I know this is counter to what I said before about PMAX for lead gen. However, if you are able to feed in the data about which leads were qualified when you get them running that PMAX campaign, it might be okay. That or running the broad match strategy we're talking about. For me, that's maybe that will work. Maybe it won't. I mean, if you just target the exact match keywords, electrical checkup service, electrical, safety inspection, whatever, that's going to work. It just might not bring enough volume. And then, so you could go test those 2 things at the beginning, one of which is guaranteed to work, of course. The other one maybe will work. But I think better would be just to run a demand gen campaign targeting people that, ultimately just in the general public. I mean, I think there's an opportunity here. This is needed enough where you could just have a really good video ad that said, did you know that if you do not have your safety inspection up to date, your house insurance is not valid. And if your house burns down, you're no longer going to have a house. And just educating the public, and then you'll get a shitload of leads that way just by itself, because I would think 1% of the people that watch that video is going to say, you know what? He's right. I want to know if this is up to code or not, because that's going to really make you paranoid itself. So I think just with that one campaign alone, you could end up having all the leads you would need coming in. And demand gen campaigns right now are really good. You could also run a Facebook campaign, of course. I would run technically both. But what you need is a really good video ad explaining it. And if you said it from your own words, being the owner of the company, and you positioned yourself as a electrical expert, local veteran, celebrity in this space, explaining, you would end up having all the leads you want. So Google search campaigns are just a small part, I think, of the overall puzzle. You do that so the easy, low-hanging fruit people that are searching can find you. But that legitimately should only probably, in my mind, is going to be less than 10% of what you're going to get. And the other part of it is going to be broad-based, display type advertising in the places I mentioned.
So you're thinking about display campaigns, PMAX campaigns on display?
Well, not PMAX, a demand gen campaign, so you could try PMAX, going back to what I was saying before. You can try it. But if you try that, you have to have the right tracking. Otherwise, it's just going to waste all your money.
Yeah, I did it one time and I hate myself for it. So I don't like it. Also, I didn't have the tracking. I didn't have the whole tracking with the Google Click ID that comes back.
Yeah, that's what you need with it.
Yeah.
But with demand gen,
Colrail too. The Belgian Colrail.
The demand gen campaign's a lot tighter in how it runs. It will just run Gmail, just run YouTube, which those are the quality placements that are most profitable. You still want the upper level offline conversion tracking with that, but it's pretty straightforward. As long as you understand what to say on that video ad and you set up a demand gen campaign, it'll work. As long as you have the tracking set up correctly, it'll work. The only question is, do you have the video right? Because the video is going to be the 100% the thing that makes you millions or not.
Yeah.
For that matter, you maybe not even have to be a video expert here, because you can test as many videos as you want. Make 10 versions of it. Say it this way, say it that way. I mean, it's not that complicated to explain. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to explain what I was just saying. Anybody understands what it is.
It's going to be capturing emotions and putting the problem in their shoes so they realize they have a problem, or at least check if it's still correct or not.
For that matter, just the last thing I would say about it too is I would 1000% try to find some stories of people who got their house burned down and they lost it because they never did the electrical inspection. So you can, on that video, say, Mark from whatever, I don't know if you could do that or not, but that I just know from like
just crying.
in the fire detection space, where they have like heat detectors for the house that detect heat, so your house wouldn't burn down. You know what they do to sell those is they show you pictures of people that have had their house burned down and their pets are burned to death to scare the shit out of people. Because if you don't,
does that work really? Is that not too harsh? Like, people think it's not going to happen to me.
So that's the thing, right? Because if you don't do that, they're going to think exactly what you think. Oh, that's not going to happen to me. But if you show them real, like grotesque things, it makes it real. Not to say you should do it that in this case. I don't think, and I think your guys over there are different than us in a little bit of a way. Things got to be more tasteful there. But you get what I'm saying. You want to make it real. You want to show examples of other people that really got screwed to make it seem like, wow, this really could happen to me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you could just look for news stories, right? House burned down.
Yeah, there's a lot. And in factories also every day. Not every day, but like once in 2 months or something in Belgium. And it's a small country, so.
Okay, well, I think that's my final assessment on all of this. So we went more high level with this. So those are your options. I think it's a great idea. You just have to execute on it right here, and you'll have a great business.
Okay. Okay, great. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put the website in first. And then maybe we can have a call after to check everything.
The main thing I would like to see is you make your video ad. I'd like to see what it looks like.
I'm gonna rap. I'm gonna drop bombs now. No, I'm gonna show it then. I'm gonna show it then.
That's up to you. But that said, we're technically past the top of the hour. Did you have any other questions about this you want me to answer?
Not at the moment. I'm just gonna do everything I should do now, and then afterwards I'm just gonna send you a mail to get another booking or something to check everything up. Also, I'm not sure with the guys that are doing it now, like 34 exclusions. I'm thinking it's gonna be fucked. He just wants to go. He just wants an easy job. I think the guy that made that.
That's as a general idea about hiring people to do ads, guys. You always have to know the basics about it yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to get screwed because most of them don't know what the hell they're doing, and 10% of them do. So it's not like I'm the only guy out there that knows how to do it. It's just you have to be able to tell. Otherwise, it's gonna be damn expensive testing a bunch of guys to find the one that works. So it's better to just study it a little bit. So and at least know if it sounds like it might work versus putting it all on their hands and then just hoping. That's not the way you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know you got enough common sense that you looked at it as like, I don't know.
They fucked me. They fucked me the first time. It's another bureau now, eh? But they fucked me the first time, and then I called you to check, and then it's crazy, man. It's crazy. People trying, and not only the PPC, but also how they make the website. There it starts, you know. First you need to address the problem, then you need to pull them in, and then you sell a service, but not the other way around. You're not gonna sell the service on the top of the page and then on the end of the page gonna say, hey, is this something for you? It's backwards. So that's what I seen 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Okay. Well, we'll end it with that. Thank you for coming on, by the way.
Thank you, Corey. Until next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. Yeah, I think the calendar invite got screwed up and therefore the time got mixed up. What I'm going to do to kind of compensate here is I'm going to try to give you guys some time anyway. I don't have a hard stop here. I do have to run probably in no more than 30 minutes. So I think we could get you guys on anyway. And we'll fix the alignment on the because it was daylight savings time, which is how we got screwed up here, obviously. So anyway, I'll talk to you later here. Give me a second, guys. Hi, Rudy. Can you quickly introduce yourself?
Hi, Rudy from the Netherlands, bold Dutch speaking, same as before, as the guy before, also close to the Belgian border, 10-minute drive. So I have my own websites and things, which I like, but also I'm helping someone else with Google Ads. And this is commission based, so I don't get paid for my effort, but I have been putting in like a couple of months already, try different things. And I was really curious on your input on that. So shall I dive into it?
Yeah, sure.
So let me. So the thing is that so the website is. Let me see how I share my screen. So thanks for taking the time, by the way, Corey. I was really curious after seeing your videos on your
Yeah,
input
sure.
on this.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Yeah, let's
Alex,
first show
by
you
the
the
way, I
website.
will get to you, so don't worry, okay? I'll definitely make time. Actually, my next meeting is in about an hour and 15 minutes, so I think I got a bit more than 30 minutes here.
Cool. So basically, what they're selling is machines and very specific B2B machines. And so this is one of them. This one is 15 years old, and it's probably going to be hard to sell because people just want like more modern machines. But yeah, it's highly specific. It's like for checking parts after chip machines. Then there's like 10 machines. I picked 3 that we're currently running. This is another machine. It's a I forgot what this one actually does. Anyway, it's also very specific B2B machine. And the same with this. It's a vacuum pump, but all the ones that are spinning really high in terms of speed. So that's also unique product. I mean, not unique as the product itself, but as in that they're not the cheap things. They're very specific
Yep.
what they're being used for. So then, let me see. The server-side tracking is set up. It's almost done. I mean, I use server-side tracking, but now it's set up differently. So what I'm thinking of is measuring micro conversions. Like here, you got these tabs, might be in our there. And the difficulty is with these machines, there's only one of most of them. So that's why we don't have any tracking data, not any conversion data on it. So that makes it hard to steer on that. Also downloads is here, so that's what I'm thinking. Then currently, so I did run demand gen. So I spent like, I think 3K the last couple of months. And I decided to go from pretty broad, including demand gen, to only search and shopping with high buyer intent. So I have a script for that that's running. And every day it's looking at the keywords and search terms and making adjustments based on that. And every Monday, it looks back on like 30 days and also does a cohort analysis since this week. And also a one-time per campaign. It looks at specific things, for instance, competitors, and then it looks up all the competitors for that specific campaign and adds them as negative keywords. What I'm debating on, because you already mentioned last time that retargeting might not be the most useful. So I'm taking that into account. And I'm adding customer match list. So basically, we're also running, by the way, other things because I have a lot of things in stock. So for that, I'm running the John Moore and Feeder strategy with a PMAX and shopping. But just focusing on these 3 products, I'm wondering if you have any recommendations on that.
Yeah. So for scientific equipment like this, it's tough because the ways that people search for stuff is generally there's a lot of overlap. Like a chromatic graph, just for like the one product there's a lot of different types of chromatic graphs. And for what Google charges for the traffic on that, often it's not a very good deal. unless you go after more precise keywords. There's going to be a certain type of chromatograph that is that I'm going to have to target in order for it to work ultimately. So I would go long tail exclusively with that on what you're doing. Now, that may not bring very much search volume. So I would also, I know you said correct me if I'm wrong, you were adding the competitors as negatives. Is that right?
Yes.
So I find the competitor targeting to be good. As long as the competitors are direct competitors, you can redirect them. And I got an example of a landing page that we did this for something similar. I want to pull up and show it as an example. So give me a second here.
Oh yeah, also worth mentioning is that we're running like a lot of countries right now. So I could also make it more narrow to only 5 countries that are usually selling the most in, but currently we're also running a lot of countries basically. Is it okay if I talk in the meantime, or is it too distracting?
Yeah, you can. I need to definitely find this page here though.
Yes, also with these pages, there's like so the website is being renewed, but also one of the things I'm adding now is like they have a lot of eBay reviews. So I'm just going to add like 9 of them in on the page, because there's almost no social proof and so.
Okay.
And yeah, so what I'm actually curious on your side is like, what would you do differently than what I'm doing, or would you do anything differently? And also if, I forgot the other thing. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. What kind of categories you would target? Would you also target like industry specific keywords, or like, I mean, looking a little bit broader to, would you only target like super high intent, or would you go broader?
Yeah. So let me just share my screen here. Okay, so here is another company in which we market their hire in scientific measurement equipment here. And like I said before, for the most part, if you don't go long tail, what you're going to end up getting is mostly people who are just looking for information about how the technology works, because there's 50 times more people searching for, like, students and stuff like this, for information about chromatography and so forth, that are not ever going to be buyers than there are buyers. And you're trying to sift through all that. And trying to market to all of them to find the 1 in 50 who might be a buyer is so expensive that it's often not profitable. Unless you have like an unlimited budget, then you can just do that and that'd be fine. But like with this particular machine, this is an AFM scanning machine, which is like basically a type of microscope. And what we will do is the type of technology it is, it's a PIFM microscope. So unless somebody's typing in, PIFM equipment, something like that, which there's just a small, tiny search volume for, then we don't have it show up. Because otherwise, what you're going to get is people that are just not qualified, inquiring, if you will. And actually, I forgot when on your landing page, is it set up for e-commerce or lead generation or both?
So one machine is just only that they can fill in a form, and the other ones they can also buy them. So basically just ecom with lead forms.
Okay. Generally speaking, this goes for all higher end products. You normally want to have a way for them to buy and then lots of calls to action to contact you, because they're obviously going to contact you before they buy. And your goal is to get them to contact you. But the fact is, when it's there and there's a price, it makes them stick on the page more because they realize they're not just going to, this is a person that really does sell it. So that's the best formula. And if you can't do that, you should make a landing page that ideally does that, or have them do that if you could. But what we do is I mapped out, so all of the different types of equipment that does the same thing, but in a different way or not as quite as good. So one of type of microscope that people are using that is of a similar type as this AFM. And so what we'll do is we'll type in, have somebody that's looking for AFM microscope. And then we have an ad that says, basically before getting the AFM, consider the PIFM instead. And then we get them to a custom landing page talking about, right away telling them, hey, like what you want is not AFM. Actually, you can get much better results with our type of machine. And then we get right into what are the kind of the differences and what our technology can specifically do. And then we have a direct side-by-side comparison. Then we get into the type of machines that we have, and then, get into also explaining on a technical basis how this actually works and why it's so to reinforce everything we kind of stated above. So in your case, I think competitors, blocking them out is the wrong thing. Now, naturally, if it's a branded item, you also obviously want to target people typing in that make and model number. That's the other low-hanging fruit opportunity that you have. But I would want all the other direct competitor items targeted by a search campaign sent to a page that says, before buying that machine, buy this one. And because it has really, really relevant traffic, not just information seekers, but people who are actual buyers, because they're looking for a very specific piece of equipment already. By typing in that model number like that, then they're probably pretty qualified. Otherwise, because the information seekers aren't going to type in a part number like that. So you would want to tap into that. Also, I would run a PMAX campaign that targets people who have been to those competitor pages as well with my ad, and try to get them to my site. So in that case, you're just going to show your item and just hope they click through and get to your page as well, and try to generate leads that way. That'd be the other primary thing that I would do. You said you were uploading the customer match list. The other thing I would consider there, I don't know how many customers you've gotten, but is there, stop sharing.
Yeah,
is
a few
there
hundred.
Only a few hundred? Okay. So not enough to where you can have product specific customer lists.
Not where you have to have at least 1,000 that are matched to Google. I mean, they are there, but not with the high-end machines, because most people buy for like 50 euros or something, which is not the same audience as the people who buy like a 5,000 euros machine most of the time.
Okay. Beyond that, is there the other thing that we did on our landing page? I'll just quickly go back to that really quickly here.
Oh yeah, and so the script that runs also excludes everything that's like educational, student-like, and a lot of other words. There's like 500 negative words in there, account-based exclusion list. I mean, yeah.
Okay. The other thing, what we recognize too is a lot of people looking for this equipment, they have some job in that they're trying to do already, the serious ones. The people that are just, researching don't. So we put a call to action on our landing page saying to, hey, if you need a sample analyzed right now, you can just contact us and we'll just do it for you, type of thing, as a kind of a tool. I mean, they make money off of that, yes, but it's a tool to get them to start contacting you. So I don't know with the chromatograph, with that specific one, for instance, what they would be analyzing. It showed like they had products there. It looked like food products there in the picture of the chromatograph. But because somebody who's inquiring and wants a test like that is also probably going to be in market for a product. If they were initially searching for one and then that you got them to contact you that way, it would be a really good prospect for buying the item itself. You might charge for that test. But when they get the test, of course, if they're going to buy one, they're going to probably buy it from you because they already know that your stuff works and it's just an easy in. The other thing I've also heard from this space that you're in too is what people will do is for lab equipment is they'll offer to do like a free trial, and only the big companies typically can do this, but they'll let you put it in your thing for like 30 days, 60 days for you to try it. And then if it works out fine, then they'll bill your card or whatever. So you can actually see that it's going to work and do what you needed to do before fully committing to it versus buying it and then not knowing if it'll actually do what you needed to do. So a lot of companies can't do that, but the people that did do it worked amazingly well, because when everybody else is saying you have to buy it to see, and then you're the one person who says you can test it in your place and then not commit until you know it works. I mean, what are you going to go for? And then, it's not like a ton are going to send it back, because why would you want to send it back if it's working and it's a pain to send it back? It's like, deal with the 5% of people or 10 that want to send it back. Who cares? It only costs you a little shipping money and that's it. But anyway, those are some side things. When it comes to the PPC stuff directly, I mean, I know you're using the feeder strategy. What kind of images are you using on the shopping? Is it like you have a white background on your shopping?
So what I actually did is actually I don't think a lot of images are being used right now, because the feeder strategy is like for the rest of the products. Because I have like 10,000 products laying around, and therefore I use feeder strategy. So what I did when I ran the demand gen until a couple of weeks ago, I did Alex Hormozy style ads, like, are you a lab rat or whatever? No, are you a chemical engineer in need for this machine? Something like that. I did it, and the specific things in blue. But currently it's just shopping and search. So there's not a lot of images at the moment. For those machines, at least for those 3 machines that I showed you.
So we're primarily relying on the search ads currently. And that's what we're hoping can do better.
Yeah, search and shopping. Yeah.
Search. Okay. I would think on what I was going to say in regards to the shopping was you may want to consider the white background. If you have that, given that probably most of the other people are going to be using white background as well, to put the machine in a actual, it looks like a lab. You could probably just digitally do that with AI or something like that, and it'll make it stand out more. Because the golden rule with the shopping is whatever everybody else is doing, don't do that, because it's going to blend in with everything else. So that might be something you could double your click-through rate on, honestly. One thing we know about pricing is if you end your pricing in a 7, that will typically increase click-through rates substantially, just that one thing. So you may want to consider having them do that, which most people obviously will agree to it. We're getting anywhere from 30 plus upwards of 100% increase in click-through rate and conversion rate just by doing that. It's a psychological trick. You can look into why that works, I mean, on your own, but that's a little hack you could do to make the shopping better. I mean, on the shopping itself as well, I mean, I know you're avoiding it, but again, I would literally do the research on all the directly comparable SKUs, and I would consider taking the product title, and at the end of the product title, put like space, vertical bar, space, and then the name of the competitor, space, do that again for each of the main competitors. So if they're searching for any of the main competitors, my ad's going to pop up because they're going to look at the title in terms of what the thing should show up for most. And for the most part, for something like that, unless they're already down to the point of comparing like one model to another, you're getting tire kicker people that are just dabbling. And maybe they will be buyers, but they won't buy for 6 months or 12 months or whatever. And it won't make your tracking data look any good because it only tracks for so long, as you know. So if you want to look good to the client, you're going to have to get people almost ready to buy. And unless they're looking at the SKU level already, they're not almost ready to buy. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that means I gotta make distinction really to what they're looking for, right? Because if I just going for the competitors' machines, like a modern machine from now is not the same as a 15-year-old machine. It's probably like people who look for a new machine won't be buying a used machine, I guess. So
that too.
Yeah, so I just gotta make like categories of like let's say similar audience per machine or something, or yeah, from competitors comparison, let's say. So what I'm trying to say is like I need to be very careful what kind of things I'm gonna target then. So just be very specific in looking into every competitor's products.
And consider doing landing pages for when you go into the competitor targeting to explain why this is better than that other machine. Otherwise, you can make it work somewhat, just sending them to your product with nothing else besides that. But if you're seeing that working, just know you can invest in probably something that says this, how you compare the specs on the one versus the other and why this is a better deal, and end up getting the sale at a much higher rate. So there's that. You said you're doing server-side tracking.
Yeah.
Are you doing phone call tracking, form tracking?
Form tracking, I'm not sure if it's through the webhook or client side. The phone call tracking is only client side at this moment. So it's just Tag Manager. And the form, I think they're going through the webhook, but I kind of forgot.
Since this is so, the life cycle, the buying cycle is so long for this type of product, you definitely need every front-end lead tracked to train the algorithm on what type of traffic to get. Otherwise, if it's just the purchase tracking data, it'll take forever to accumulate enough. And so phone call and form both. And I would presume if they take on the phone orders, which I assume they're going to do, because not everybody's going to put through a $10,000 order on their credit card through the website. So you also need to track that in your ad account too. Otherwise, you're also never going to get the proper steering of the ads as well. In addition.
No, that's easy for me to do. I can upload it manually. Yeah.
Okay. Beyond that, those are your main things, I would say, that I would try to focus on mostly. That's just what I've learned for this type of stuff at that price point. If you're going to get the guy, the scientist who knows he needs a specific type of equipment that has a budget already to get to the website, versus a student versus somebody just, maybe whatever. So, if the traffic's cheap enough, you can send people that are just typing in chromatograph or whatever. But I haven't sold chromatograph specifically, but I would presume the cost per click's not that cheap. What are you paying per click?
I think around €2 per click.
Okay, that's actually not too bad. Same time, there's so many types of machines and there's so many people searching for that. I know I keep referring to that item by itself, but it's that I just know most of the traffic is not serious. It's not like anything else where, most of the people are looking to buy. This is like the complete opposite. They're not looking to buy. So those are the main things I would start with. If you come back in, a while, you tried some of this stuff and you have some other questions, I'd be happy to look into the data a bit further.
So thanks for all the input so far. And then so would you track like the tabs on the website as micro conversions? I can show you if you like.
Yeah, definitely, as long as they're strongly correlated with a purchase. So if somebody's going to go view the FAQ, you could even do that, because somebody who's serious would be wanting to read the FAQ, for instance.
Yeah, I just thought things like this, like payments, like there's no information here, but at least when they're clicking on it, they are more interested compared to other things. So you would use these tabs as micro conversion. Would you put them as primary or secondary?
That's at the very beginning. If you're not getting any phone calls or form fills, you can put them as primary for a while to get the engine started. The only problem with doing that nowadays is, and reason why you see almost all websites are using Cloudflare now, is because bots are such a big issue now. So if you do that and you got people clicking the FAQ and it's a bot, it's not going to help you. So you may, if you do that, have to also use Cloudflare in addition, or some sort of anti-bot solution, so that your data doesn't get cloudy from all the bots clicking it.
Yeah, I had it with like the demand gen, but with this one, I should test it, but I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. And then to summarize your other things, so you said basically high intent, very specific, and then competitors redirect people who are interested in those machines. Do you have any other suggestions on how to target people?
You can, I know you said you use demand gen. You can definitely do that also. I would do the custom intent targeting, the same terms you're targeting by your regular search campaigns, because it's just the same people redirected at the same pages and whatnot there. So just making sure that you have different campaigns for different items, given that each customer is going to be totally different and should see something totally different. But yeah, if you add in that should probably help you out a bunch as well. I usually take and make a custom intent audience with just the competitors, and then run that. And then I have a different ad group for people who are just typing in the buying terms that I target with my search campaigns. And then, because they'll usually perform a little differently, and I'll send the traffic from both of those to my page as well.
Yeah, that's also a good idea. Because we're doing so worldwide, I want to keep the budget a little bit in, like not too big. So I will see how it goes, and then I can, like with the search and shopping, and I can expand to the demand gen. So I think I'll just start with like the competitor things you suggested. So yeah, super useful. Thank you for all your input. I highly appreciate it.
The demand gen won't get as good of conversion rate. I think of it also mostly as you're driving the people to the site, so that it plants the seed more so. I mean, for that, you do want to get some remarketing going if you can. And then the last thing I'll say also is, if you can get the client to do a product demonstration of these items where they would like show, okay, here's our XYZ, here's what it can do, here's what it can't do. If you had that video on your demand gen, you could use that as your ad instead of just a static ad. And that'd be kind of interesting, because they were already interested in an item very, very close to that. So they would probably watch that. And with the remarketing, you could use it there too. So they were out on that page. Now they're going to see that video product walkthrough, and they're probably also going to watch it there. And it looks like you guys really care about what you're doing when you've taken the time to do that.
Yeah. Very good idea. Yes. All right, I got my work cut out for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for your advice, Corey. Appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah. No problem.
Bye.
See you later. Okay, here we are, Alex. Your turn.
Hey.
Can you hang on 1 second?
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Man, he's gone.
I'm just getting something to drink. Because I've been out here for a while. Anyway, sorry about last week. Yeah, trying to work out the OBS software. It was challenging, but I realized what I got to do, which is I need to get somebody who is a specialist that just manages the technical side of this. And so that if something goes wrong like that, then they can work out the details on it. So anyway, I appreciate you coming back. How are things?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty difficult. We have the search volume actually increased pretty substantially, a lot. So most of my
Why is
time
that?
is spent probably the season. So February was the worst. Well, plus the optimizations we did on the account. But yeah, it's getting warmer outside. People work on their cars. And purchasing a lot more parts.
Yeah.
Server side tracking also is. I won't say it is the main beneficiary, since you need to have server side for a couple of months to get the whole benefits. But yeah, we see something like 10% increase compared to the client side. Yeah, forgot my 4 digits of Google Ads account. So yeah. By the way, we are an e-commerce store selling replacement car parts for the Swedish market currently. We spend about 20K per month on Google Ads. This month, actually, we went to 30K with a lot better ROAS. Since we started this weekly optimizations, we were at 290, and currently it is 372. Yeah, by the way, Bob brought some props of the actual car parts from the last stream. Those are brake pads, filters.
You must have a
fuel
huge
filters.
warehouse to have all these parts. You sell so many SKUs. Are you drop shipping at all?
To be honest, it is kind of drop shipping. There's like 2 million articles. We have 10 to 15 suppliers. I'm not sure. So you can say that most of it is drop shipping, but we still keep some stock in our warehouse because the returns, and you don't always return the parts to the suppliers.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of items. Yeah. What else?
So how is why don't you share your screen and tell us how that DSA campaign's going? We talked about running that 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And curious how that was ramping up.
Are you able to share the screen on your side for the better video quality?
I am, but I also have a problem with logging in right now. It's an IT issue, so
All right.
I would rather have you share it. Next time.
This one. So we are staying on StreamYard for now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna for the next few weeks. While I arrange the new hire to help us with the use OBS, we're gonna use StreamYard.
Yeah. Okay. So in this past 2 or 3 weeks, I'm gonna give a little update. What I did with the account. To be honest, I didn't do much because I did not want to do much. Since the more changes you make, basically the worse it gets. So briefly, I increased the ROAS on this car parts campaign. It is mostly, to be honest, the competitor keyword, and it is bringing the most volume. You can see that 24K euros is spent on this campaign. I've increased the ROAS on this because it is limited by budget currently.
Okay, good. Smart.
Yeah, we also worked behind the scenes on cart abandonment flow to at least match the competitors that are doing it to increase the ROAS further. It is still in progress. Um, Yep. So going back to that DSA campaign, it is this one. So with this campaign, I think I made a mistake and I've set up the whole campaign settings to 100% ROAS, but then I changed on the ad group itself to 300. So it's sitting on 300. Maybe because of that, it does not spend a lot per day.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, it's the
in the
ad group
whole month,
level that matters. That'll override the campaign level.
yeah, and basically what we are doing right now is we want about 10 conversions, then we can use the better ROAS. So I just left it like that since it was spending. So, and as we can see, it got 8 conversions actually.
Oh, holy shit. 500 ROAS already?
Yeah.
Well, not very much spent, so that's not a lot to brag about, but
Yeah, but still, it's pretty good. I was working on this campaign, as you have said previously. I went through the search terms every day, every second day, excluded all the irrelevant keywords. So with this dynamic campaign, what we want is to target a really long tail keywords like brake pads, Toyota, 1.6 diesel. So the more of the vehicle the user types in, the better
the
we can
longer it
target
is.
them. Yeah. So I've been excluding basically every keyword that is not relevant, like gasoline right here. This keyword, cheap headlights. Also, I did exclude, but then actually I found out that it had a conversion, a small one, only 17 euros. But overall, I've learned that keywords that have cheap in them do not work pretty well.
Not unless you actually are cheap, then it will work great. But if you're not,
Yeah. So the problem with this industry, I also found that there are some parts that cheap, but people have there's so much vehicle make models and engines that sometimes if the user searches for make and model, then he gets on the website and he finishes selecting his vehicle fully up till the engine, then there may be a case where there are no parts for the specific category that he is on. And if that happens, 90% of the time people just leave.
yeah, of course.
So
Well, that said,
yeah.
is it smart to add negative keywords that match vehicle and engine type and all that you don't have parts for potentially? Like an exact match, you think?
It is, and that was the main reason why we went for the page feeds, actually, to strictly target the full vehicle plus the category. And while making the feeds, we made sure that on that specific category with that vehicle, there is at least, if I'm not mistaken, 2 parts in stock and available to order. I don't know if we should get like just let Google use the whole website that it has crawled, but to be honest, there's a couple million of different dynamic URLs Google can use that has the parts. So I would leave it as it is currently.
I agree with that. At the same time, I would use my Google Analytics and just keep an eye on it. If there's like one that just gets hit again and again and again, at that point, you may want to consider adding a negative keyword for that vehicle type to just
Interesting.
block it.
So you're saying that if a Google finds that URL, then tries to advertise it, and because it's a long tail keyword, you cannot find it in the search terms report. It goes in the other search terms. The way you
Talking
can
about for the other search campaigns, not so much for this, but for your other campaigns, because you have regular search campaigns, and if just so it would never pop up there. That's the main thing I was referring to.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Because you could go to Google Analytics and see landing pages that people have landing on, or should I say, not landing pages, but just pages on the website that they go to. And if you see certain pages are very high traffic, but you have no parts there, then at that point in time, you may want to consider blocking stuff on the front end with the ads, because it's like something that it's like a drain on your account long term. But anyway, this is a small issue. Anyway, my question also was here on your shopping /PMAX. Are you doing the same kind of thing here that's working well, where you're heavily adding negatives for anything that's not long tail?
To be honest, I didn't quite keep up with the PMAX. We have actually two PMAX campaigns. One is basically a legacy. When I first started Google Ads, I made it, put a bunch of headlines and images in it. It is kind of working. For the March, it spent 600 euros. Got some conversions. The ROAS is kind of meh, but okay. And I am pretty much not touching this one. I would rather remove it. But since it's giving some conversion, some volume, we are keeping it. We have another PMAX that is the PMAX product feed. It is also spending, but a bit less. It gets less conversions. And I think we did not quite talk about this PMAX, so I didn't also go to the search terms and remove any keywords.
For personally, seeing how things are going though, Alex, what I would do instead is run a regular shopping. I know I mentioned on my channel before how regular shopping doesn't work as well as PMAX for shopping placements because it doesn't have the added machine learning capabilities. However, in this market, I don't think PMAX is the right thing. And I mean, maybe you would have did better with PMAX with feed only, but at the same time, regular shopping and just going and every single time, like for instance, when you add the negative on your dynamic search ad campaign, if you were to add it to the regular shopping campaign that you are running, so you get like a 2-for-1, it should scale up really nicely. In fact, I'm 95% sure that shopping campaign will deliver the ROAS you want within like 90 days if you were to start one up, as long as you took that general approach.
Yep. So for better context, I have researched if the competitors are doing shopping. They are. Most of the 3 of our biggest competitors are doing it. One issue we have with the whole feed only and the shopping campaigns is that there are a lot of images with the manufacturer's watermark, and a lot of products get disapproved. And right now we do not have the staff capabilities to get all 2 million parts photographed nicely and uploaded to our servers. So
you should be able to use AI for that though. You could have somebody take a script, scrape the images, remove the watermark, and then output it into a file for a product feed. I know that sounds easier said than done. I'm making it sound like, oh, this is so easy, but no, I mean, AI can do that type of thing now. So I would think if you would even go to Upwork and just describe what you just said that you needed there for $1,000, something like that, they could build you a little script that would do that.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll dabble on it. I think I've tried it some time ago, but the image generation was not that good. Like recently, they added this Nano Banana, Gemini image generation, all that stuff. I need to try it again, as I'm also a developer. I think we can make it done. It is actually a good idea. What
Or
else? Yeah.
to prove to yourself that this is worth the time, just pick 100 items. Go to your Google Analytics, find the items that are top sellers already, and then just do a top seller campaign and see how it does. And then if you see it's working, then you can add the others later.
Okay, the small issue I see with this is that the top sellers will probably be the items that are most compatible, like Viper blades. You can put single Viper blade on a lot of vehicles, and most of them in our times come pre-packaged with different like small installation thingies, because some vehicles can have different installation thingies, but the diameter of the Viper blade is pretty much the same. And due to this, the margins on these items, they're not really expensive. We're talking about maybe $30.
Okay,
If
so
we talk about filters, it's a lot less. 5.
in general, you got a point. I wanted to add to what I was saying there. 100 items that are not exchangeable, or so they only work for one vehicle, because otherwise you're not going to get long tail searches with those items, which are where the money is, right? That's, at least for ads, that's where the money is. And then on top of that, like you said, ones that are higher margin. The idea here is the number is irrelevant. The important thing is that you are able to run a test so that when you go through the hassle of doing everything that we just discussed, it's worth it at the end of the day. You know what the reward is.
Okay, got it. I'll try to set it up for the next week. Well, probably we still need to give it some time, but maybe we can observe what we did with the titles, descriptions. Maybe there's some improvement there as well. What else I did in the previous weeks, actually, with the categories campaign? Actually, due to the volume increase, it is starting to perform really well in the past couple of weeks. I have removed another ad group, which is shock absorbers, and made a separate campaign for it. This time, however, I did not set up a target ROAS right away. I just did the maximize conversion value. And we'll probably do the same strategy to get 10 conversions and then use the ROAS targeting.
Okay.
What I've seen is that the CPC is really high for each click. Usually it is like 80 cents, but I have seen in these couple of days CPC as high as 6 euros per click. That is normal, right? It's just because we don't have a ROAS set up.
Well, go to the keyword planner.
Just the keywords, or you want to go to actually?
Tools, under planning, keyword planner. Then type in your main couple keywords there. Discover.
I have to copy them, to be honest. I want this one. So this is the shock absorbers for Saab vehicle. It is really popular in Sweden.
Okay.
This is correct.
So you're targeting Sweden, right? Just to confirm.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So well, it says 0.67 versus 0.27 is the range you should be in. And you're telling me that same exact keyword it's charging you 6 euros? Is that right?
No, to be honest, it is not this keyword. If I can grab the keyword that I was looking at on this campaign, the average CPC. Okay, it was probably today, but like €5 per keyword. This one.
It looks like you might be getting screwed on the more generic keywords that other competition may be already targeting. Okay, so it still says 0.67. Is
My
it
idea, yeah,
it's only Sweden that you're targeting, right? It's not Sweden and another country.
correct. Sweden plus only Swedish-speaking
Okay.
people.
Well, to answer your original question, is it related to the bidding? It could be. Normally, I don't see that big of a gap in what it says the high end of the range is and what you're actually getting charged. So maybe you want to go back to manual bidding at the beginning and put it at like 70 cents for a while, until the cost per click is more so. I mean, as long as you're getting clicks on that, then you should be good. And that'll keep it in check for the short term. Long term, you can use smart bidding and it won't be that high.
Interesting.
As long as you're getting good metrics on your conversion rate and whatnot, it won't be that high, which I presume you'll be fine there because your other stuff converts. So why wouldn't this? What's your landing page look like for this? Where do you send them to?
This keyword, it is a lot of price per click. It is this page. It's just this Bilstein is just the name of the manufacturer.
Yeah, Bilstein.
So there's no, yeah. So there's no information about the vehicle in the keyword. This keyword is kind of bad in a sense that there are how much? Oh, 2 products for this car, and overall you will not find this manufacturer for every vehicle. About 5,000 products, yeah. So I'm not sure if even should we keep this keyword. Probably just let it run for a while and just see how it works.
You're definitely going to do better off targeting keywords that are for, like the shock plus make and model. You get much higher ROAS quicker. The problem with that is A, it takes a lot of time. B, you won't get as much search volume. But if you want to be efficient at the beginning, I would stick to just those.
Okay, got it. I think I've covered everything I've done. I have a couple of questions prepared as well.
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes here I can do.
This is an interesting question. I haven't Googled it. It was just on top of my mind. Maybe you have got the same issue at one point. So I ran previous week, I studied remarketing a bit more. I went all in it for the Facebook, and most people use the actual Facebook app to browse. And when they search on Google, they browse through their browser. And when they see a remarketing ad on the Facebook app and they click on our link, there are no cookies, and we basically don't know what the person is to show him he abandoned the cart, showed the contents, and all that stuff.
Sorry, could you repeat it one more time? I didn't quite catch 100% of it, please.
Yeah, so let's say I'm browsing from my web browser on my phone, and then I see some ad on TikTok. And when I click on the ad, since it's a different kind of browser, you don't get any cookies on the website itself, it's like a new user is visiting the website,
Yeah.
even though he visited before just on a different kind of platform.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So my issue is that when we try to remarket people on Facebook, when they use the Facebook app and they go to their cart, it is empty. So kind
Okay.
of defeats the whole purpose. I was wondering if there is anything we can do to circumvent it.
So for cart abandonment campaigns, so that when they go, we drive them back, their cart's full.
If the cart is actually empty. Yeah.
I mean, so to make sure it's full, to bridge
Oh,
to bridge the gap, the data gap. Okay. So that's so basically you don't want to do it with cookies at all. You want to do it with first party user ID.
mm-hmm.
Which is done server side. I don't know how to do it. That should definitely be possible some way. It's a good question. It's not a great question for me because I'm not a programmer like you, so I don't quite understand how it's done. But I think that you can do it. You could do it well, certainly if they've logged in, I'm sure you can do that easily that way. But user ID based is tied to IP address. And because the way server side tracking works, right, is that it's kind of the premise to begin with is IP tied to user ID, and then you are identified at that level. And given that you switch browsers, even though you have the same IP, it would understand you as a user unique based upon that user ID that it assigns you on the first visit to the website. So, yeah, that should definitely be doable if you're doing it on an IP address basis. The question is, how is that actually technically done on the server side? I don't know.
It is pretty easy, yeah. I won't go into the technical stuff, but yeah, I think I got you fully. How much we got? 2 minutes left. I want you to take a look at
on that front, you definitely do want to do cart abandonment remarketing on everything. So once they've got to the point of getting to the cart, you want to remarket them heavily because that's always going to pay. Driving them back to the cart, once you've got that done, and you should have ad copy that says specifically, hey, you didn't finish checking out. We'll give you €5 off your order if you put it through in the next 60 minutes, something like that. That's a great way to monetize.
Mm-hmm. So we actually had the remarketing campaign working, to be honest, a lot of time, but it does not get a lot of traffic for some reason.
If you're marketing to people hitting the cart, it'll be basically nothing until you've scaled up a lot, or at least built up the just in general, got a lot of traffic going to the site. That'll become more relevant as you get bigger.
Can I ask how big are we talking about?
Oh, I think once you get to 1,000 or more a day and visits to the site, it'll start being significant.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I see the big issue is we kind of have a lot of people in the audience segments in Google Analytics, but it is significantly less, like maybe 1 to 2% in Google Ads audience that is remarketable. If I'm not mistaken, it shows 3,000 people abandoned their cart and in 30 days, and there's only like 150 people in the Google Ads cart abandoned audience segment.
Okay. Yeah. for now, it's, I mean, that's going to be like the highest ROI thing you have basically eventually long term. But yeah, for now, it's not going to do much. You got to go into the background. You'll see it do more and more as you grow.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So basically, we won't touch it for now. Maybe come back later to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I think I don't have any more questions for now. For the next week, I'll create a basic shopping campaign, set it up, and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. You're doing good. Thanks for the update and coming back. Thanks for your patience as well. We'll do StreamYard again next week. We have the time set up right and everything. So, all right. I'll talk to you next week then. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey. See you next week.
Thanks everybody else for coming as well. Of course, we have Honey Hugs. I know you showed up. Carousel, same. You guys ever have questions during these live streams, you can always let me know in the comment section. I'm happy for those as well. In the meantime, we'll do our next live stream on Monday. Live Q&A. Ask anything you want. Thanks for coming again. See you later.